Hello everyone. This is Eric from Invensis Learning with an interesting session on Six Sigma tutorial. Welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm sure you have come to watch this tutorial video to improve client satisfaction in your company, or to improve profits by reducing waste. Either you are a management level person or a person who just wants to understand the basic concepts of Six Sigma. If yes, then you are at the right place. This Six Sigma tutorial will help you in understanding the basic concepts, the benefits, and the approaches to implement Six Sigma in your organization. So, without further delay, let's get started with today's agenda. We will start this tutorial by understanding organizational challenges. Then, we will try to answer questions such as, what problems do organizations come across when they implement change? And how Six Sigma can help to face those challenges. Post that, we will understand what is Six Sigma with the help of a simple example. And then we will be looking at 3 levels of Six Sigma. Moving on, we will understand the philosophy behind Six Sigma. And finally, we will end this session by going through a case study. I hope you are clear about the agenda. Now, let's get started. Let's understand what are the challenges being faced by organizations these days. For organizations, on one hand you have a customer, who you need to delight, to whom you need to provide a world-class product or service. Because your customer has lots and lots of choices, you need motivated employees to fulfill those requirements of customers, to make customers happy. So, these are the 2 ends of the organization. Customer who needs to be delighted, employees who need to be kept motivated. But inside an organization, there are a number of management challenges these days. With the type of economy we are in, there is a continuous need to innovate. If you're not innovating, very soon you will be out of business. Because someone else will come out with a better product, or better service. The client is looking for on-time delivery. So, whatever time you have agreed with the client is looking to get a product or service delivered, right on time. The client is looking for a good service. A service, which is expected from a world-class company. Because the client has a number of choices here. The organizations need to be responsive to customers' need, because customers' needs are not fixed. These customers' needs are changing, because customers are getting more and more choices. With that, your organization needs to be more responsive to what the customer is looking for. And all these things, customer want at a low cost. So, within a limited budget, you need to achieve all these objectives of timely delivery, responsiveness, good service, innovation, and all these things. Organizations need to be flexible just like responsiveness, which we discussed before. If the demand for one product changes, then the company needs to switch from one product to another product very quickly. So that flexibility is needed here. You can't be bound by your own books. So if a customer is asking you something, you cannot tell your customer that, this is the way we do our business, this is our procedure. You cannot say that. You need to be flexible to provide the service the customer is expecting. And then above all, you need good quality. Quality with consistency. The customers don't like surprises. They are looking for consistency. So, your product or service needs to be good and consistent. That's exactly what a customer is looking for. By looking at all these challenges which organizations are facing today, how does Six Sigma help us in achieving all these objectives? For the next few minutes of this session, we will try to understand how Six Sigma helps us in achieving all these objectives and challenges which organizations are facing today. So previously we talked about the challenges which organizations are facing. But how does Six Sigma helps us in handling those challenges? So, let's look at some of the benefits which Six Sigma can give. The first thing is that Six Sigma gives sustained success, and when I say sustained success, that means whatever gain you are achieving today, it's not just for today. These gains are ongoing. You will be recurring these gains day after day, month after month, year after year. So, if you have improved a process today, it not only saves you money today. The process will save you money tomorrow, next month, next year on an ongoing basis. So, that's how Six Sigma can help you in getting sustained success. That sustained success comes from projects when we do project selection. Because in an organization there are a number of opportunities, you can do number of improvements, and you can do number of improvement projects. But then, those projects which will go through Six Sigma methodologies are those which are linked to the company's strategy, which are linked to company's success. So, the selection process in Six Sigma is such that you select those projects which can help the organization in achieving its strategic objective. And by doing project selection, the focus is on profits. So, whatever improvement you do, end of the day the focus is on the bottom line. How much money would it save? If it is good quality, you will get more customers. You can increase the price of your product, that will lead to profit. If you make your product faster, then you can make more products per day, that will lead to profits. So, whatever you do in Six Sigma, the end game of that is to increase profits. And you increase profit by having better customer satisfaction. So, if you produce a good quality product, the customer will like it more, the customer will buy it more, the customer will tell more people about your product, and that will lead back to more sales, and which means more profits. In Six Sigma organizations, the organizations which are implementing Six Sigma concepts, there is higher employee morale. There is a higher engagement of employees because employees are engaged in the process of what they're doing. Their work is to make more processes better day by day, and this engagement with the work process improvement processes is tied up to the reward and recognition system in Six Sigma. You also have a reward and recognition system in organizations that are implementing Six Sigma. So, if employees work on an improvement project, this saves huge money out of that they are rewarded and recognized in the organization. And that will lead to higher employee morale. All these things at the end will lead to more profit, will lead to a shareholder or stakeholder value. So stakeholders or the shareholders will get more value for the investment, which they made in the organization. Because the profits are going up, the wastes are going down, things are being made consistently, things are being made on time, client is happy with that, new products are being launched. With all these things, the company's value or the organization's value goes up. And that's all they are interested in, to have a higher value for the organization. So, if you look at this, Six Sigma really helps in handling most of the challenges that organizations are facing these days. So, after talking about the challenges which organizations have today and what Six Sigma can do to handle those challenges, now your question would be, what is Six Sigma? When we say Six Sigma, 6 is a number and sigma means standard deviation. Let's take an example of a plane landing on the landing strip. So here I have a plane, which is landing on the strip. A strip has a width. What the pilot has to do is, land the plane at the center of the strip. Because if the plane lands on one side, there is a chance of the plane getting crashed. So the target for the pilot is to land exactly at the center. In life, you would see that everything has a variation. No two people are the same, no two fingerprints are the same. There are differences in whatever we do. The same happens with this landing also. So even though the pilot attempts to land at the very center of the strip, but many times the pilot will land slightly to the left, slightly to the right. That is also fine. Because this landing strip has some width. So the pilot has some flexibility to land a little bit left, a little bit right. But if the pilot lands beyond the strip, that is not acceptable. When we talk about Six Sigma, if the pilot uses half of this landing strip for the landing, which is the middle half of the strip, then we can say the performance of the pilot is Six Sigma performance. So, what does this mean is, pilot is using just half of the allowance he has. He is allowed to land anywhere on the strip. But the pilot is landing only in the middle half or the central half of the strip. That way, it leads to a lot of margin for unexpected things in the future. So that will make sure the pilot doesn't make a mistake. Now the same thing, if I look at the industrial scenario. Let's say if you make a piece which has to be of 100 mm length, and you can have +2 or -2 on that. You can make this piece anything from 98 to 102 mm, that will be fine. But your performance will be Six Sigma performance if you are consistently making this piece within 99 and 101 mm. Not 98 and 102. That means you are using half of the allowance which has been given to you. If you do that, then your performance is Six Sigma performance. That's a simple explanation of what Six Sigma is. Whatever you do, if you're using half of the allowance, which has been given to you the majority of the time, then you have a Six Sigma process. Whether that's pizza delivery, whether that's a tolerance on the shaft, or whether that's landing the plane on the strip. Whatever process you're doing, use half of what has been allowed to you. You can call yourself that you are doing a Six Sigma process. When you decide to implement Six Sigma in your organization, you can implement Six Sigma at 3 different levels of implementation. Your level of implementation could be using Six Sigma as a tool, using Six Sigma as a process, or using Six Sigma as a philosophy. What are these 3 types? Let's understand that. When you want to implement Six Sigma as a tool, in that case your company's mindset is to reduce DPMO, which is defects per million opportunities, to the level of 3.4. Let's take an example where there are 1 million opportunities of things going wrong. If just 3.4 things go wrong in that case, then we will say that that particular thing has 3.4 DPMO, or 3.4 defects per million opportunities. So that's one method of measuring the defect. When you want to improve your process to this level, then you can say that you are implementing Six Sigma as a tool to reduce your defects to that level. The next level of implementing Six Sigma is the process approach, where Six Sigma is taken as a process, Six Sigma as a process to improve anything and everything you do. In that case you use DMAIC approach. And when I said DMAIC approach, D for define, M for measure, A for analyze, I for improve, and C for control. The next or the highest level of implementation is implementing Six Sigma as a philosophy in the organization. And when you implement Six Sigma as a philosophy in the organization, then your thinking in the organization is that any defect is unacceptable. You need to do anything with perfection. Whatever work, whatever processes you are using, you are trying to perfect those processes. So that's implementing Six Sigma as a philosophy in the organization. Now let me summarize these three approaches quickly. Starting with the Six Sigma as a tool at the bottom, where Six Sigma is used as a tool. Where the attempt is to have 3.4 defects per million opportunities. The next level of implementation is implementing Six Sigma as a process, where you are improving the performance of the process using DMAIC approach. Define, measure, analyze, improve and control. The highest level is implementing Six Sigma as a philosophy, where anything less than ideal is an opportunity for improvement, and the company understands that improving processes would lead to long-term benefits. So, these are the three approaches. Now you can see that, what approach your organization is using when they are implementing Six Sigma. So when we talk about implementing Six Sigma, let's understand the philosophy behind Six Sigma. What forms the philosophy or the structure on which Six Sigma stands? The first thing is that Six Sigma is a data-driven approach. So it is an improvement based on facts. Unless you know where you are standing today, how can you improve? Unless you know what is your output today, how can you improve your output? So Six Sigma is based on data and fact. And that's the reason once you go higher in this chain, from white belt to yellow belt, to green belt, to black belt, you would see that statistics get involved a lot. Once you go to black belt, there's a lot of statistics involved here. Because you want to make sense out of those numbers. So, that is a data-driven approach in Six Sigma. The second philosophy of Six Sigma is that it is based on a process. So any improvement, which you are doing is on a process. And when I say a process, for the process you would have input and output. So here in Six Sigma, we will be looking at improving our output, by changing our input. So unless you change your input, your output is not going to change. So that's the approach we're taking here. What all are inputs to the process, which we can change so that our output improves. Somewhere later, you will see an equation which is quite frequently used in Six Sigma. That is y equals f, x, and y here is output. So that means output is the function of x and x is input here. So the output is the function of the input. Your input will decide your output. And when I say process approach, a process is not limited to a certain department or a certain function. The process in most of the cases will be spreading over a number of departments and a number of functions. So when you want to improve a process, you would be involved with many departments or functions, not just restricted to one department or function. So that's the reason when we say Six Sigma is boundaryless. You don't restrict yourself to one particular department when you're doing improvement. You need to have interaction with other departments because your department output will be some other department input. Same way, some other department's output, you will be using in your department as an input. So here you need to have a boundaryless collaboration between different departments to improve process. Another thing in Six Sigma is that you have gate reviews. So when I said that you have 5 steps in improvement process, which is DMAIC define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. In these 5 steps also, there are gate reviews after each of these steps. So once you have defined the project, once you go from define to measure, there is a gate review to check whether your project will go ahead or not. So what does this mean is even though Six Sigma is attempting for perfection, even though Six Sigma is trying to get 3-4 defects per million opportunities. But in this whole process of improvement, there would be cases when there would be failures. You will go ahead with an improvement project, but because of certain reasons, because of certain restrictions, you'd have to cut short on that project, or change the scope, or scrap the project altogether. So whatever you have done would be lost. So even though Six Sigma is looking for perfection, but accepts failure as well, because when you are trying to improve, there would be some cases where you would fail also, and the Six Sigma approach understands that. So that is driving for perfection but has a tolerance for failure. Another critical philosophy of Six Sigma is that this is based on customer needs. So whatever we are doing, whatever improvement we are planning to do, That has to be focused on the customer requirement, and the term that here is CTQ, which is critical to quality. Critical to quality are all those parameters that are important to the customer. You don't want to do any improvement which is not important to your customer, because that will be waste of time, a waste of money. Because the customer is not concerned about that. You have limited resources to do improvement, so do improvement in those areas which are of concern to your customer. There is a target of 3.4 defects per million opportunities. When you are implementing Six Sigma, a Six Sigma process would have 3.4 defects in 1 million opportunities. That's also known as DPMO defects, but a million opportunities. So that's another philosophy of Six Sigma. Then the next two things, the target and the variation. The target in Six Sigma is around the center, around the mean, that where you would target your process to be. In a simple example, if I would say that you are manufacturing a shaft, which has 100 millimeters as the length, and this can go 2 millimeters plus or 2 millimeter minus. So this shaft can be anything between 98 to 102 millimeters. But in Six Sigma, your target would be to hit 100. That's where you would be approaching. Your target would be at the mean of the center, and you will try to minimize variation. Anything will have variation, but in Six Sigma your attempt is to have minimal variation. How do you minimize your variation in the process? So that you deliver the consistent products or consistent services to your customer. So these are few basic philosophies on which Six Sigma stands. Now let's try to understand the case study of Amazon. Amazon is such a shining example of Six Sigma, in fact, that the company would certainly serve well as an inspiration for your own business. When Amazon was first launched by Jeff Bezos, it was an online bookstore which others thought doomed to fail. Amazon has drastically expanded its product range. They have even implemented innovative practices, like same-day delivery, set to reach new heights for efficiency, with automated drone delivery. But have you ever wondered how Amazon became one of the largest online retailers in the world? The answer is Six Sigma. Six Sigma methodology is in the culture of company. Six Sigma is part of the Operational Excellence program that began in 1999, when Jeff Wilke joined Amazon as Vice President of Operations. He came from Allied Signal, and his background in Six Sigma made him the perfect choice to drive efficiencies in operations. So, how did Amazon incorporate Six Sigma into their work? The concept of Six Sigma was developed as a way to cut costs in business manufacturing processes. However, its use is not exclusive to the sphere of goods manufacturing, as the online retailer and distribution company. Amazon, which is one of the world's largest online retailers, has also implemented the Six Sigma way of business into its strategy. Operational excellence. Six Sigma has always been firmly rooted in Amazon's company culture. With around 2,000 items ordered every 60 seconds, Amazon can't afford to let standards slip. As far back as 1999, the company began a program of operational excellence aimed at improving company processes. Amazon defines operational excellence in two ways: firstly, to deliver continuous improvement for customer experience. Secondly, to drive productivity, margin, efficiency, and asset velocity across the entire corporation. Hiring best and brightest. To achieve their goal, Amazon set about hiring the best and brightest, a common Six Sigma tactic. They took things one step further by training their employees as Six Sigma black belts. Six Sigma methods. By using Six Sigma methods, Amazon was able to reduce variation by actively seeking it out using DMAIC, root cause analysis, and similar tools. They reduced waste by cutting spending, eliminating non-value adding process stages, and cultivating a Kaizen-based company culture. Outcome. The outcome of Six Sigma was a completely different company with greater inventory management, increased efficiency, and stronger value stream control. Using Six Sigma, Amazon has made rapid progress in becoming a global online retailer. With a culture focused on continuous improvement and greatest efficiency possible, Amazon has taken over the world. In doing so, they have emerged as a technology giant to stand alongside the likes of Apple or Microsoft. The impact of Six Sigma on Amazon can be seen through the statistical representation. Having a certification carries considerable weight in this competitive business community. It will give you an edge in obtaining career positions with some of the world's most respected companies. At Invensis Learning, we offer instructor live online Lean Six Sigma certification programs, which are designed for working professionals with varying levels of Six Sigma experience. Get certified today and stand out from the rest of the crowd. For more updates on trending technologies, subscribe to Invensis Learning YouTube channel. Also, if you have any queries, share them with us in the comments section.